no better way to start the day than hearing developers talk about the PlayStation 5. I tell you what, for a console that's supposedly that much weaker than the 12 teraflop beast, and for some reason I'm doing quotation fingers when I'm doing that, even though y'all obviously can't see it, but obviously I think developers know what they're talking about. For some reason, these big third-party devs are very keen on the PlayStation 5, and I'm not saying that nobody's keen on the Xbox Series X. It's just I can't really think of any huge developers that are like, man, that Xbox Series X sure is a beast. You know, it's like very far and few between. Most of the people and the devs that are hyping up the Series X seem to be these small indie devs, and it makes sense because those are the ones putting their games day and date into Game Pass, which I think is the only thing Microsoft cares about. I honestly don't think they care about anything else, but this developer is breaking backs with this PlayStation 5 news, and I am excited to talk about it. What's up, everybody? Crapgamer here, Crapgamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. I really do appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. It helps out the channel, and it means a lot to me personally. A lot of people ask me, hey, what's the best way to support a small channel like yours? And I can say without a doubt, the best way to do that is to simply hit the like button. It goes a long way. It helps out the channel. You know, you can also subscribe and take a minute to consider subscribing. I do daily content. You know, I'm unscripted. I'm off the cuff. It's all passion. It's all like pretty much one take. You know, I'm not going to sit there and try to lord knowledge over you. I'm learning this stuff as I go along, just with you guys. Sometimes we can learn from each other. I can teach you a little bit and explain things in a simpler way because I'm learning this stuff too as I go along, like I said. So this should be a very good video. Listen, and I stress this very much, the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 are the closest that an Xbox and PlayStation console have ever been in power. Think about that. You might think, well, let's look back. The Xbox One and PS4, they didn't really have that much of a difference. You know, 900p, 1080p, not a big difference. That was a bigger difference than what we have right now. You know, you might go, oh, Xbox One X and, you know, PS4 Pro, that's not a big difference. Well, this is even less than that. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind. Like, developers are going to obviously try to take the most out of what they can from these consoles. They do it all the time. Listen, I am super excited about next generation. When I play through Ghost of Tsushima or The Last of Us Part 2, my PS4 Pro chugs along. It really does. Even my Xbox One X gets a little bit loud at times. So these consoles are old hardware, old hat. We need updates. We need new consoles. We need games to push the limits once again and push the boundaries of what's capable. And I think that with the PlayStation 5, certainly, it seems like that's exactly what's happening. And that has me very excited as a fan because we're getting things that we've never done before. And we're getting things not possible on the old hardware. And that's the really exciting part because anybody can, you know, any company like Microsoft, obviously, putting their first-party stuff, like if they have any, on both the Xbox Ones and the Xbox One X and the Xbox Series X and the S and PCs really can water down your product a little bit. And so, again, I'm not exactly looking forward to that aspect of next generation from them. Well, I do hope that, you know, Microsoft or that Sony actually delivers their promises, and, you know, obviously doing next gen only is going to be a huge advantage for them. Now, a lot of people, if you're an Xbox fanboy or one of those Xbox fanboy sites, you know, they go, well, you know, the Xbox is just better. It's more powerful. It can do this. It can, you know, run laps. It can do the 2-minute mile. It can, you know, it can basically do everything your heart's desired. And it's a dream catcher, and you can hang it on your wall, and, you know, it can save the day, and, you know, put a cape on it. It's all this great stuff. But at the end of the day, it's only as good as the games that are on it. And let's be real, Microsoft isn't known for great games. You know, they're known for games in the 60s ratings. You know, that's sort of their thing. Sony's more noted for like high-end Game of the Year candidate type stuff. And when developers are talking about the capabilities of the PlayStation 5, like here, it's just nice to see that. You know, it's nice to see that even though it's the underdog in terms of power and stuff, developers are really going all out. And this is something that I thought was really cool. So there was an interview with official PlayStation Magazine in the UK, and the executive producer at the Metro Exodus studio 4A Games has revealed that the studio is particularly excited to see some things coming to the PlayStation 5, and this has me very excited. He revealed that the team is fully embracing the technology moving forward, and the fact that PS5 is supporting new features is a huge thing for them, and this is what he had to say. He said, "We are fully committed to ray tracing moving forward, and to see that available on the PlayStation 5 is probably the biggest feature we're excited about. The faster solid-state drive will help a lot with player experience, but adding support for ray tracing is the sort of thing that, to us, shows a true generational leap in hardware." He also actually touched base on the PlayStation 5 DualSense controller, like that's a hot topic as well. Everybody's talking about it and what it's going to bring to the Metro franchise. And he said, probably the first thing that comes in mind for Metro would be getting the tactile feedback of pressure as you pump up a pneumatic rifle. So again, this is something that's going to be really kicking butt in the next generation, right? Being able to kind of take advantage of the next gen features of the console. Again, you hear things. It's a running theme. That solid state drive is great. Ray tracing capabilities on the PlayStation 5 is great. Now, why is that worth noting and doing a video on? Because there's still people out there who refuse to believe that the PlayStation 5 is capable of ray tracing, despite the fact that pretty much every game they've shown was confirmed to support at least some level of ray tracing, and now you have another third-party developer, which again, you don't really have. They don't have to say anything, to be honest with you. They don't have to commit to ray tracing. They don't have to do any of that stuff. But here they are saying, hey, we're able to do ray tracing on the PlayStation 5. It's really a beastly console, etc., etc. And I think that that's really cool because, a lot of people are loving exactly what's happening with the next generation of consoles and things like that. So I really think that that's something that like developers talk about. Like you look at stuff and developers, like they're talking about Godfall, right? They're saying they're finally excited to finally feel which weapon they're holding in their hand without looking at the UI, and you can sense where an enemy is spatially even outside the field of view. According to that developer, with like Ratchet and Clank, the adaptive haptics are something we're excited for in Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. The Enforcer is a dual-barreled shotgun type weapon. As you pull the trigger, you'll fire from one barrel, and you can feel resistance around halfway down. You need a bigger blast, pull it through the same resistance point, you'll fire both barrels at the same time. So obviously they're taking a lot of things that are coming from these games, even in the Sackboy Returns thing or whatever, right? They're using the adaptive haptics, and you're going to be able to provide it with sensations that match what Sackboy would feel in the game. For example, when picking up objects, there's a tension to each press, which conveys that the little guy is struggling to carry it. Similarly, when equipped with the grappling hook, R2's weapon mode makes the player feel like they're actually firing it themselves. So that's actually pretty cool to see that, and to be able to see the level of immersion that we're going to be able to pull off with next generation, which makes me very excited. Again, immersion being the key word. When I was finished with this generation, the thing that annoys me the most, which I know some people feel me on this one, is long load times. Nothing kills you more than that. Like, to be honest with you, like I like the Batman Arkham games tremendously, but when you die in that game and then you have like somebody on the screen laughing at you or whatever, it just takes so long to get back into the game where you're just kind of like scratching your head like, this is so bad, just get me back into the action. And for you to be able to go into the action right away, I feel is a huge step up and a generational leap myself personally from last generation to next generation. So I'm very excited about that, and I think a lot of people are very excited by what the future holds for both the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. For me personally, it comes down to games, and so that's why I tend to be a little bit more excited about the Xbox or the PlayStation 5, because they have like such a wide variety and palette of games coming within the first launch year. On a Microsoft side, they really kind of dropped the ball, which is pretty much par for the course this generation if you think about it. I mean, now it looks like it kind of leaked out that Halo Infinite is going to be a holiday game next year. Although they pulled that pretty quickly. It's just one of those things where I was kind of already guessing that anyway. That game looked to be atrocious and really in the dumps or whatever, and I just feel like now what they've been able to accomplish with the PlayStation 5 is nothing short of miraculous, especially given that it's technically less powerful than the Xbox Series X, but they're able to actually pull off things that developers may not be talented enough with to actually kind of get the Xbox Series X out there doing that kind of stuff. So again, Microsoft kind of put all their chips in that native 4K corner, and it looks like Sony went for a more well-rounded type of situation. So that's going to be very interesting to see how that kind of plays out just in the future. You know what I mean? I think that Sony and Microsoft both have quality consoles, but do they both have quality content, that's kind of another story. Lately, I see a lot of people talking about Game Pass and how, review scores don't matter because Game Pass, it doesn't matter if the games are bad because, hey, it's Game Pass. Like, to me, that's a very dangerous line of thought for the industry, and I honestly do hope that that's not the way that things sort of go, because that's a very dangerous line of thought. Hey, well, if a game's not finished or a game's broken or a low-scoring game, who cares? We can try it anyway because it's in Game Pass. Like that, like, developers should always strive to do the most quality, the most high-quality thing that they can do. And I feel like that's what should be continued into next generation, right? So is it a coincidence that, Microsoft keeps putting out these subpar games and they have Game Pass where their stuff goes day and date? It could be. Do I fully believe that Halo Infinite would have launched into Game Pass broken if it wasn't for the backlash and feedback, or at least in parts? Absolutely. I mean, that whole ad campaign with Monster Energy drink or whatever is still going forward. It's like they weren't on the same page with the marketing team. The marketing page wasn't on the same page with the developers. The developers aren't even on the same page with the other developers. So it's kind of interesting to see that. I'm going to link all this stuff in the description so you can check it out. Let me know, are you excited about this? I would really appreciate it if you let me know in the comments below. Hit me up on Twitter at @_Crapgamer, Xbox Live, MOH space Crapgamer, PSN, just Crapgamer. As always, thank you for spending some time with me today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Have a fantastic day. Stay safe, happy, and healthy. Game on, my friends. Game on. Rack 'em up. Crapgamer out.
Unscripted.